G'day YouTube, warbles on a lot here. Please forgive the rain on the roof. This is a picture of the thumbnail on a movie I posted yesterday called 10,000 Years of Knife Reviews for Fred at Conference Report. And it's a picture of a wooden handle made from a tree called honey locust, which has salmon pink heartwood, it has yellowy creamish white sapwood, and it has purpley black bark. Honey locust is a noxious feral pest in Australia and you're not allowed to grow it, so I got permission from the people whose land this one was on to fell it with a chainsaw and then quarter cut mill it with a chainsaw, and that's why I used it on my Bowie knife. But I don't think you could call that red and gold, could you? It's salmon pink, it's white and it's purpley black, or it's yellow and it's purpley black, but it certainly isn't red and gold. And therefore this comment from Deep Ashtray 4 hours ago saying, "So the gold and red trimmed handle isn't camp?" can't possibly be referring to that knife. Nor could it be to the water buffalo horn handle on the cookery. So I'm forced to conclude that Deep Ashtray meant to say silver and red, perhaps, maybe. Well, it's like this, Deep Ashtray. Here in Australia we wouldn't call that camp. What we'd call that is flashy. Flashy is what we call in Australia pretty much anything that is functional, but it's been constructed definitely with a view to its appearance. And in this case, that's partly why I bought it. Not for the red and the silver and the pressed embossed stainless steel handle plates and the anodised aluminium frame for it, but as you can just barely see, on the blade it has a wavy pattern embossed into the surface of the stainless steel. Somebody's gone to an enormous amount of trouble to use all the same techniques and machinery that you would otherwise use to cast turbine blades for a jet engine, and they've made a pocket knife blade out of it, and they've made the stainless steel look as if it's damask steel. And I figured that could be very useful, because when I was buying this 10 years ago for about $15 in a sporting goods shop, it was replacing this knife, which I'd used for about 5 years, which had cost $20, which is also a lock knife, also made in China, but perhaps because it didn't have any ornamentation on the blade, I had stupidly attempted to use it to dig a 3-bladed bodkin hunting arrowhead out of a eucalyptus tree when I missed the sheep that I was using for archery practice, because it was a trespassing sheep on an endangered species sanctuary. And of course, this knife was itself replacing an earlier knife which had cost $25 in exactly the same sporting goods shop, also a Chinese manufactured lock knife which can be opened with one hand, and this one's actually particularly useful because it's got a long narrow blade which is fairly perfect for whittling the bowl of a pipe if you don't want the pipe to contain too much of a charge and therefore not be quite as expensive and wasteful. So the reason I was replacing a $25 functional knife, which I'd been using for 5 years, and replacing it with a $20 larger knife, was because a friend was going to throw away this belt pouch made for a pocket knife. And rather than let it be thrown to the dump, and despite the fact that the pouch was actually too large for the knife, I accepted the pouch and shouted myself a knife which was large enough to fit the free pouch. Meanwhile, keeping the old knife on hand, ready for the time I need to carve another pipe. And then 5 years down the track, while misusing the $20 knife, I broke it. Therefore, thus and because, the change to a flashy knife, in the hope that I will respect the level of skill that's gone into manufacturing to the point where I don't try to use it as a pry bar to extract a missed arrow from a tree. Does that make sense, Deep Ashtray? It's flashy, but not camp. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.